and I'm a single mom of two kids. It's been beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'd
it's been
like you to
beautiful.
take us from how it all started, becoming a single mom.
Okay. Um, Fast forward back. Should I call it 8 years? Yes. Uh, I finished my secondary school in the year 2014. It should be more than 8 years. Yes, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. So I actually was this girl who wants to go to school, pursue my dreams, go to school, come back as a copper. You know that feeling when we're growing and meeting
Yeah.
all those coppers, and then you want to be a copper too. So, finished secondary school. I didn't actually want to get into any relationship as of then because I
Okay.
had a pursuit. But along the line, I fell in love. I fell in love with someone I thought that I'll spend the rest of my life with. You get? I fell in love with him, and then I was feeling I'm going to end up, you know, having a good family, you know. And then I entered into the university here in Enugu, Kofi Okoye
Okay, you fell
University.
in love with him. That was after secondary school.
Yes, after I finished my WAEC, so
Okay.
after my secondary school. So we were just dating and just, meeting and getting to know each other better. So and then I entered into the university, and yeah, I was just going, in, out, like, because I already had somebody. So it was beautiful. All of a sudden, he wanted this whole engagement. He wants to engage me, and I was like, okay. Then I didn't know anything, so I wanted to actually be engaged. Wow. So I had three friends then in secondary school, and I told them that he engaged me, and they're like, no, 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 it's not a good idea. I don't like him. I'm really out to tell people, like, when you select your friends, please try to listen to what they have to tell you, especially when they grew up with you, knowing the kind of family you came out from.
Yeah.
So they are able to detect what your family will not like in a man that you are bringing to your family to see. So they're like, no, 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 not this person. I was like, me, I like this person, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So when I made that statement, everybody back off. Like, everybody, like, no, no, okay, fine, make your choice.
Was it your
So
first relationship?
yes, it was my first, my
Okay.
very first, but not my last, in Jesus' name.
Amen. Definitely not your last.
So I really loved him. Like, I really sacrificed myself. I took myself as like a burnt offering to him. How do I mean? Even when everybody objects, no, don't be with this person. And I was
You felt
still,
you were going
yes,
to that there were things that you felt it
yes,
was going to work out between
yes,
you people.
yeah. When I got into his life properly, I started noticing this. He doesn't say sorry. Like,
Okay.
when we're growing up, mommy would say, if you do this, you say sorry. I grew up with, I'm sorry, please, using the magical words.
Mm.
But I got into his life, and I discovered that he hardly says sorry. And then it was a problem to me because sorry kills or melts every, unfortunate occurrence. Like, when you do something that is not nice, you have to say sorry, okay? But he doesn't know how to say sorry. Now, fast forward to when I was in the university, and then I was traveling back and forth. And then,
Okay, you were going to visit him.
mm-hmm,
Is it in the
mm-hmm.
same location with your
No,
university?
I was here in Enugu, and then
Okay.
he was in Delta State. So I was born and brought up in Delta State.
Okay.
So I was going to see him. And then I I got pregnant.
Okay.
Okay, and I got pregnant, and then in my 100 level first semester.
Okay.
So I got pregnant, and then I didn't know because I didn't know
You didn't know
how
what it
to.
feels
Yes, I
like.
didn't know.
You
My
know.
body wasn't changing. The only thing was a missed period. So I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't feel the whole vomiting, those kind of symptoms. I didn't really feel that. So I I didn't tell my parents because I
Okay.
was scared.
Yeah.
But I had to tell him to see his steak. And then he was giving me attitude.
Okay.
So the whole attitude now depressed me because I thought you wanted it. I thought you wanted us to have a family. I
And
thought
he
you,
presented engagement
yes,
before he got to know that you're
yes,
pregnant.
yes. So I was like, why the attitude, I said, okay, maybe he was going through something. And then I was like, okay. I told my friends, they suggested I travel back to Delta State, which I did. And arriving there, the gate was shut at me. Usually, I used to be with his key when we were in a relationship. That when I'm coming back during the weekend, when he's not around, he will say, shey you are with the key, go home, okay? I'll meet you at home. I'm like, that kind
You
of
feel like
feeling.
landlord.
I feel like I used to be very happy,
Landlady.
yeah. So I was with the key, but the key was not
It's
opening
not the
it.
same key
Yes,
again.
no more the key. It
And all
changed the
these things
key
changed. There's
so
immediately you
quick.
said,
Yes, and
okay.
it changed my mindset. I'm like, why all this? Like, and then a friend of his came and like, I should go back. That I didn't tell him I was going to come. I'm like, should I tell somebody I'm in a relationship with that I was going to come to his
And prior
house?
to this time, you don't tell him.
Yeah.
But
So
all of a sudden,
yeah. So I said I'm not going anywhere because I think I'm a bit stubborn when it comes to the things of love. So I said I'm not going anywhere. So I sat at a church. Then there was a Mountain of Fire church there. I sat close to the window, and then when there's no more church service, and then they are locking up the windows. So the pastor said to me, he tapped me. I'm like, hello. I turned. I said, good afternoon, sir. He said, what are you doing here? I said, I came to see you. Back then, you can't say boyfriend now. I said I came to see my friend. That was how I presented it. And he said, who is your friend? I didn't even need to say his name. I had to just point the building because he should know him, because this church is just opposite his building. So,
okay.
and then he was like, really? He said, okay, come inside. I came inside and he said, I want to say something to you. You don't chase things. Then I have not told the pastor that I was pregnant. He was like, you don't chase things, and then you should go back home. When you go back home, apologize to your parents and go back to the school they put you in, and figure out your life with God and your life with your education. And then I was like, okay, he makes sense. But when he was leaving, I said, sir, please come. I have something to tell you. He said, what's that? I said, but I'm pregnant. The man was weak. He was like, did I tell him? I said, yes. And then he was like, in this, it's now a family discussion, but that he prays that God helps me to make a rightful decision. So I took back myself. I went back to Enugu. When I got to Enugu, it was quite late. So I came back and I told my roommates what happened. And they were like, no, you don't have to give up. You'll still go again. And then I when something happens to you at a young age, and now as of that time, what I know now, I don't know it.
Yeah.
So the feeling I was having was, okay, listening to anything that pushes me to do that thing and then hitting it back to back. I was like, okay, they are making sense. Now, these people were in school and then they were telling me to go, but I didn't see it as, wrong. I feel they were helping me to get to the right track of what I want or what I wanted. So I was like, okay, fine, let me go back there. So over the weekend, I went back there, and then he wasn't around. So the same not opening the door and all of that. I don't know. Something happened. I think I landed at his sister's place, and then the attitude now. His sister called him like, come, I want to see you and all of that. So after that, after the long discussion, I left back to Lagos.
Okay.
My dad called, he was coming back to Nigeria. And I had that small body. So I was like, okay, it's my dad coming back, not my mom coming all the way from Delta to see me. So my dad came back, and then, you know, father looking at a daughter, he won't know anything is really
Yeah.
wrong with you or any changes. It's a mother that actually knows her daughter. Even if her
Yeah.
daughter is 10 years away from her, she
Mm.
will definitely know what is wrong with the daughter. So my dad called my mom to come, so we have a family get together, because my dad had a project at hand here in Enugu. So my mom came all the way from Delta. So I had to go and pick her at the park. I remember the very day I picked her at the park. So, you know, at the park, my mom was like, turn, let me see you. I want you to turn. I was like, Mommy, why should I turn? At the park, she was like, Oluchi, you are pregnant. I was like, ha. Mommy, I don't know what you are saying. No. I don't know what you are saying. I don't know what you are saying. Maybe I'm eating too much, you know? Ha. So when she got to the hotel room where my dad lodged, she asked my dad, did you notice her body changed? My dad was like, I don't know. My mom said I added weight and that she thinks I'm pregnant. And my father was like, adding weight, that if she saw the, you know, rich food I brought, it would tell that I'm really living well. Like,
Yeah,
that's why I added
added
weight.
weight, okay.
So they were arguing. My mom was like, no, this is not adding weight. And then my dad was like, you have to go for a test, let's see. That was when the dan 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 the dan 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 started. I was so scared. I ran to those my ginger roommate, and I like, see what's going on, what do I do? Already when I was pregnant, I started having guilt. I started having this reality. And the reality hit me very well, because I had a roommate who was very close to God. And then she was like, Diane, I think you have sinned against God, and I think you should start asking him for mercy. So I was depressed already, knowing that something has hit me out of my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then I was contesting for Miss Go Uni,
Okay.
and then the pregnancy thing, and my body was changing. Yeah, my body was changing
It's
rapidly.
becoming obvious.
Yes. So 1 month had passed, 2 months had passed in this phase, 3 months going. So I think my tummy, because I have a belly button, so I think my tummy started shaping, you know. So the next thing I started hearing was rumor going in school, like, she got pregnant, maybe for that taxi driver that used to come and pick her. Because when I was going to travel to Delta State, I had a personal taxi driver that comes to pick me to God is Good Park.
Okay.
So they were like, is that taxi driver? God, it was so embarrassing. And then I brought the pregnancy test. Ekene, one of my roommates, advised, show your parents the pregnancy test. Don't hide it. You are pregnant is that you are pregnant. You know, she's this, you know, straightforward person. She wants to hit it hard, like hard. So I took the results. I showed my dad. My dad was so disappointed, because he so much loved me. Like, he so much loved me. It was that moment I knew that I broke his heart. Like, he kept on asking, who is responsible? And then I couldn't deny who was responsible. That's why I tell people, a woman knows who got her pregnant.
Yeah.
Every woman that is pregnant that denies, I don't know how it happened, is a lie.
She knows the actual
Except someone who is mentally not stable.
Okay.
Like, you know, a mad woman or a mad girl, you know. They are the people that may not tell, but majority of them, as far they saw you, they can picture you. Even when she even sees you as a mad woman, she will identify that this is the person, she knows, they know. Okay, so my dad said, okay, what is his take? And then I was telling my dad, I don't know what he's talking about, like nothing meaningful yet. So fast forward to my matric. That was the best part. My dad stood like the man in my life, like somebody that I love. Even knowing fully well I was pregnant, he had to allow the sleeping dog lie. He was, you know, buying me those things I was craving, because as a pregnant lady or girl, you crave for certain things. So I started craving Cold Stone ice cream. And then my dad would say, Cold Stone, I went to Cold Stone, and the ice cream you are demanding is very expensive. I was telling him, buy it. and he will buy it and bring it to my hostel in the middle of the night.
So he showed you love
He showed me,
regardless
yes, very, very much. So fast forward to the point that my reverend sister in school already knew I was pregnant, because come on, I was contesting for something official. So reverend sister took it up, because I was staying in the hostel where she was supervising, like taking care of the students there. So it was a female hostel, sorry. So she said, Diane, I want to see you in my office. And then I met her and she was like, you are pregnant, but you're not the only person who is pregnant here that cannot finish the education. Can I speak to this guy? Can you call him? I want to hear from him. And I took up my phone and called him. This is one thing I always regret. When someone says this word, a spouse says this word to you, or to anybody relating to your issue, I am busy. Sorry, he will take you for granted. He will take you for granted. God showed me red flags, like so many red flags.
But you know, when a lady is in love.
Yes. So, so she called, and he said, he called his name, and then like, did
Okay,
you
the
know?
woman called.
Yeah, the reverend sister called him and like, do you know anybody called Miss Diane? And he didn't deny the fact that he didn't know me. Okay. He was like, yes, he knows me. And then she was like, do you know she's pregnant? And that she's in a very confused state right now. And then he said, yes, he's aware. And then she said, and what are you saying? What is your plan? Can you come to Enugu and fix this thing? She's too young to go through this. He said he's busy. I can't forget what Sister Blue told me then, and she said, are you sure you are making the right choice? Are you sure you are in the right track? And then I was so eager. I said, yes, so I'm in the right track. So one early morning, my parents came with some security to the hostel to come and look for me. So when the information came that my father was looking for me, if you see the way students were transferring me, it looks like when they were transferring a live bomb from one room to another. That was how they were transferring me. And then they ordered the hostel rep or what to search for me. So if I tell you where my own fellow students hid me.
Why did they come looking for you with security? Because
my dad wanted me to move back to Delta and get rid of the pregnancy.
Okay.
Since the person wasn't ready. So I continued my education. So I was not ready. I was like, no, I'm not ready, you know. I was hiding. After every run, I submitted myself.
Okay.
Because at a point, they had to call a meeting between the reverend sister, my dad, my mom, myself, and one of my friends who was always advising me to pray and talk to God regarding the direction I should follow.
Okay.
So, and then they told the reverend sister, see their plan. She was like, no, she's not in support of that. No, they should just leave me to have the child. That children are blessings from God. So after that meeting, I submitted myself.
To your daddy's biddings?
Yes, I just submitted myself to my mom, because in the Nkanu custom from where I am, it's like a very big abomination to get pregnant as an Ada out of wedlock. And then, according to what I had, probably they will barb my mom's hair, isolate her, they will remove her from all those their meeting and all of that. So I was like, okay, let me just give in. I thought of it, if this person really loved me, why not come out in the open and see my parents, or tell me what you are going through presently?
But he wasn't saying anything.
He wasn't saying anything. The next thing, he was just transferring me huge amount of money. And then my friends were like, Hafa, Japa now, see money, Japa. I was like,